Hi, this is Bill Johnson, and you're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast, episode number 198. Happy Halloween. Tonight we're talking about Beetlejuice and
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
There you go. Rocky Horror Picture Show from 75 and Beetlejuice. I forget the year on that one, but I had a great time revisiting both of these. So what's going on, guys?
Not much. Had it been a while since you've seen both of these talk?
Beetlejuice I watched last year around the same time, and then Rocky Horror Show, it's been since I was like 13 since I watched the whole thing through.
Okay, so it's been a while. Yeah, Beetlejuice I watch at least once a year, so that one was an easy revisit. But
it's always good though. It's always good every time.
Yeah, for sure. And Rocky Horror I hadn't seen since that infamous date night I had with my first girlfriend, where her dad gave me the speech.
The Milk Maiden?
No. That's way before that. Yeah, it's we're going like mid 90s at this point. For her dad, before going to a party where we were going to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, put me aside and basically almost pinned me to the car and told me no drugs, no alcohol, no sex tonight. And he kind of gave me a big warning. So
they've been in that order, or
right? Yeah, I was fucking 14. Give me a break. In a party full of fucking other girls. I mean, anyway, good times. Yeah, so I haven't seen that since that time. So I was excited to revisit it and to actually watch it. I don't remember it much from the first time.
I had a great time watching it.
Awesome.
Hi.
What about you guys? What's going on?
Happy Halloween, everyone. I can't believe it's already here. It's just October went by so fast.
It has.
Yeah,
this
it's
episode drops
depressing.
Friday?
Yep. What's that?
This episode comes out on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, so Halloween's right around the corner for everybody then.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 days away. Got one more weekend to enjoy, and that's it. That's all she wrote, folks. So get out there this weekend. Enjoy the last of your Halloween festivities, but don't get too depressed because, we celebrate year round as horror fans. So, it's a little extra spooky, in October, but you got to keep the spookiness up year round.
You guys going to a party this year? What's on the docket?
Actually, we went to a Halloween party on Saturday. Sam, you want to talk about it?
No, you can.
Okay. We went to a Halloween party at the Hawthorne Hotel. We go every single year. Last year was canceled due to COVID, unfortunately, but they basically take over the entire hotel. They have a live band, 2 or 3 DJs on multiple floors and whatnot. It's really cool. It's expensive as hell though. It's really, me and Sam always say, we're it's really not worth the price of admission. But it's kind of tradition at this point. For the price you pay,
$50 or
no, $160.
Oh wow, that's like a free
Rip
Universal
off.
Studios pass.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it doesn't include open bar or anything. It literally just gets you in the door and you get some hors d'oeuvres that aren't even that impressive. But it's, they can get away with it because it's Salem in October. So they just jack the price, and it sells out every single year. So people go, it's still a good time. You see some amazing costumes, and this year was no exception. There was some really awesome costumes. I think my favorite was there was a Jaws costume where the girl was basically getting eaten by Jaws, and then her significant other was Brody. That one was really cool. There's also a great female gremlin. You guys know my love of Greta the gremlin, so that that was very nice to see. And
That means Joe got a boner.
Yeah, not quite. I don't know what Sam. Was there any favorites you saw?
None that I can think of off the top of my head.
There was also a really good. Well, since we're doing Beetlejuice tonight, there was a couple of.
Just
really
tell
good
them who won the contest since you saw it.
I can't remember.
You can't
who
remember?
won. No, I mean the Jaws people won, and there was a Alice in Wonderland themed one, which honestly I didn't think was that good, but they won. And yeah, I can't really remember. Well, because I was set in the back, so I couldn't really see the people when they went up on the stage. that well, but there was a really good there was actually like 3 really good Beetlejuice costumes. One in particular was the Maitlands, but when they're like decaying, that one was really cool. So yeah, I mean it was a great time and we had a lot of fun. We also went to the pumpkin patch last week, so that was a nice fall activity. We had our apple cider donuts and picked some
Iced
pumpkins.
apple cider.
Yes.
Is there a hayride involved?
There
Yep.
was.
Nice. Little corn maze.
So we
go
didn't
through.
we didn't do the corn maze because Joe had a like panic attack or something last time, and it
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
it was like he was being so dramatic about it. So I was like, yeah, definitely not gonna risk that
Yeah,
again.
bring your machete next time so you can cut your way out.
It's true. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like it just like in my head when we were going through last year, I just was like, man, like if like I had like a heart attack out here, I would be dead. I was like, because no one like the fire department would not be able to find me in here, and I'd drop dead. It was like
it wasn't that big.
It's
And then
huge.
you would haunt it though. That's a plus.
That is true.
You'd be the
Yeah, they
legend
do
of
it.
Joe.
Yeah. They actually turn it into a haunted corn maze at night, which is pretty cool. Which I would do that. Like I don't think that would be I would have as much anxiety doing that for whatever reason. But yeah, no, it was a great time. And yeah, so we're just trying to get all the fall activities in before it's all done.
Nice. And for speaking of the party at the Hawthorne, I heard there was this really like creepy scream couple. Can you tell us about that a little bit? You just glossed right over that. So
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Sam and I decided to be Casey Becker and Ghostface, and we did role reversal. So I was Casey Becker and Sam was Ghostface, and we got a lot of compliments. I was telling Sam, I think so. You know, we've done like pretty good costumes every year, but this year was like we got like stopped on the streets for like pictures and stuff while we were walking there. And then we got a lot of compliments when we were in there. So yeah, I think it came out pretty good.
Just to clarify, I wanted to be Ghostface and Joe wanted to leech onto my costume. So
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, once you said that, I was like, okay, that's perfect. So
you should have been Dewey.
Dewey would have been good too. Yeah. I just knew Casey Becker would be easy because like it didn't require a lot. So
I wanted to be Gail, but I was like, I'll just do Ghostface because I really wanted to wear a mask.
What did we say? We already thought about what we were going to do next year. Remember? I remember I threw something out there. You remember? No. All right. Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned for next year.
Right. No, that's awesome, guys. It's yeah, they're really funny costumes. I really liked them. So
Yeah. And
It's fun.
what are you going to be? I know you're going to be Twisty, right? Steve
Yep.
and Todd. What are you and the family going as?
I'm just gonna be Ghostface again like last year.
All right.
Sam actually ripped me.
Todd!
Sam stole your idea.
Oh my God, we're
then
twins. We're
that's it.
twinning again.
Going trick or treating. Get my dad candy tax.
Being Ghostface is so fun, Todd.
It's
Like-
easy too. You're anonymous and you're just
I know.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. Like I was rarely taking my mask off to have my drinks and to have my snacks.
you just do the chin drink.
Yep, exactly. And there were so many kids who were so excited to meet Ghostface and they were like hugging me and shit. I was like, oh, I could be a real killer about to kill your kids and you're letting your kids hug me.
I bet you next year it's gonna be a big costume again with a new movie.
Yep.
Well, maybe not because it's coming out in January, right? So it's
I
yeah,
think
people
so. People are
forget easily though.
people are gonna remember how fun it is, how fun Scream is.
hopefully it's good.
Yeah, no kidding. Hopefully,
We didn't really
2022
talk
is
about
better.
seeing the trailer or anything.
Yeah.
Did you guys see it?
I did. I saw it in
we-
theater when I.
Oh, we don't really care. No one cares. Okay.
Yeah, well, it was good.
I didn't watch it.
Well, I was forced to watch it because it was in the theater, but yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was.
Yeah.
I think it showed enough, and I hope I don't see anything else. You know, it's like one of those where I don't want to see more. I just want to see the movie.
Did you get a boner when you saw Sydney?
No, not really.
I did.
I did.
No, I mean, I'm excited for it. Like the trailer didn't blow me away or anything, but the fact that it's the guys who did Ready or Not are directing it, that gives me a lot of hope for this one. So my expectations are pretty high, actually, even though I didn't like Scream 4. I hope they, take it in a good direction. So we'll see.
It felt like Scream, and I thought that was cool.
Mm.
You know, like just the general tone of it. So I'm excited.
Kill Sydney off or no?
Yes.
What's your choice?
And,
Yes.
and this series right now, at least this mainline series, I would say. you need to kill Sydney.
I don't know, because like
If she's a
I mean,
killer, I'm gonna be pissed.
it's
That better
like
not-
she's
that
like
better not be it.
she's like the new Laurie Strode, right? Like she's like, she's like the face of a horror franchise. She's the heroine. So like I feel like killing her off would kind of kill the franchise, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you guys ready to get some questions? All right.
Yeesh.
Awesome. You can ask us questions on social media at the Horror Squad Podcast, or of course on our Discord. A lot of stuff going on in the Discord these days, a lot of conversations, a lot of people watching horror movies, because we have a room in there where we take a screenshot of a movie and people have to guess what it is. And there have been a lot lately, and people are awesome. Like they guess really quickly. So some big time horror fans in there. First question comes to us from Chuck, Captain Amazing 85. Do you think that the movies we consider classics are due to physical media rentals and ownership? I can't think of any movie now that I consider classic compared to the ones we rented and watch over and over.
Mm, maybe yes and no. I don't know. It's like if I buy a book on my Kindle or digital library or whatever, and I really like the book, I'm still going to buy the actual physical book because I want to collect it. And most movies have a physical release. Even Netflix ones, you just go on like people that make customs or whatever, you can get your own one. So no, I don't think so. It's just not like there's nothing really iconic coming out. Everything's been done.
I'm gonna say no as well, but for me it's a different factor. I think movies become classics over time. So the movies we watched 20, 30 years ago over time become classics. So the movies we're watching now in 20, 30 years from now, they could be considered classics. Like, I mean, there's one right now I consider The Witch to be like, to me, that was an instant classic. And I think that's one that will stand the test of time with most horror fans. But yeah, I mean, I think you just got to give it time with movies.
I'm gonna say no for the reasons that were already stated.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I think time definitely brings in classics in our minds. But I mean, personally, I've recognized recent films as what I would eventually consider classics. The Conjurings, Insidious. There are movies that I watch that I know that they're going to hold up the test of time for me, that I'm going to watch for years to come. I even said this, I think it was last year when Hubie Halloween came out. Like, it wasn't even in my top 10, but it's something I'm going to watch every year because it's such a fun Halloween movie. In fact, we're going to use it as one of our carving movies this year because it really puts us in the spirit. So even though it wasn't like a great movie, to me, it's eventually going to become a classic because I think it might hold the test of time. So I don't think it has much to do. I mean, it certainly helps when you had like 5 movies and you watch them over and over because that's all you had as a kid, like the ownership part. The rental, not so much. I think that rental is just a physical manifestation of the streaming, right? So I don't think there's a big difference there.
And actually, sorry, one more thing about that too. Like, I feel like nowadays, even more movies will be considered probably classics down the road, just because with streaming, like so many more eyes can get on a movie as opposed to when we were doing physical media. So, I mean, you get fucking movies like breaking records like every other week on Netflix, because people like are finding them so easily now. So, yeah.
I think that would also work against it too, though, because
possibly
so much out there. Like Squid Game was popular, and now it's not even talked about. It was like 2 weeks ago. So it's like,
well, it's like, yeah, that's just people's short attention spans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true though, because like if I talk to my friends, they've all seen A Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Because that was one of the movies that people talked about. But now, like you said, a streaming movie, it'll be talked about for like a month, and if you watch it after, it's like, oh, old news. We're moving on. So yeah, there is a lot of choice, and a lot of it can get lost in the shuffle a bit. I still think a good, really solid film is gonna hold true for a while. Next question is from G.A. Torres. There have always been talks about a Beetlejuice sequel or remake. Who, in your opinion, would be a good choice nowadays to replace Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice? Should you have to replace him, of course.
Why would you? I was gonna say, why would you even have to replace him? I think he would definitely come back and do it.
What happened with that sequel? That was
it's been in limbo for like 20 years. Yeah.
I thought like 2-3 years ago they were like, it's happening.
Yeah, Tim Burton said something along those lines, but it just disappeared into. I don't think they can find a good script for it. So I mean, maybe that's a good thing if they're actually not making it because they can't think of a great idea for it. So not do it just for the money. But I feel with everything like Hocus Pocus coming back and all that stuff, I think it's a matter of time personally. And Michael Keaton is, I mean, he had a career resurgence a few years ago, but as of next year, he's going to really skyrocket
Batman,
with
right?
coming back as Batman, coming back as Vulture. I think we're going to see a lot of Michael Keaton, and that might be maybe our last shot to get a Beetlejuice, like a proper Beetlejuice too. But anyway, who would you, if you had to replace them, who would you pick?
Well, I just got sad real quick because I just thought of Michael Keaton and when he should have won the Oscar and like he had his like speech and like he tucked it. You see him like tucking it back in, like when the camera panned to him. I was like, it's the saddest moment ever. He needs an Oscar. Like I love Michael Keaton.
What movie was that for?
I think it was Birdman.
Birdman, yeah.
Oh, never seen it.
I
really
didn't like
think it was
that
all that
movie.
great, yeah.
No, I didn't like it either. But he was good.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would replace God? How can you replace Michael Keaton? Right? He's kind of like
a
Robert Englund, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that's a
Yeah.
hard one to pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna respectfully pass on this question.
I am going to go off the cuff here and not say someone like super famous, but he's a really good actor, and I think he maybe could pull it off. And that's Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon. Why
Mhm.
don't I know that name?
God, he's a really good
He's in-
character
he's in
actor.
Bug.
He's in Superman.
Is he? I didn't
Yeah,
see Superman.
he played in Man of Steel. He plays the villain.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
he's got an interesting face.
He does. Oh, you know what? Matthew Lillard, because he kind of has like the same energy.
Hmm.
Because he gets wild. That's what I like about his when he acts. So I'll go Matthew Lillard.
I could see it.
I'm gonna go with Patrick Wilson.
I was thinking that Sam for some reason. I don't know why.
I could see it.
Hmm.
He has like a very what am I trying to think? Like a face that just can do so much, if that makes sense.
Expressive face, maybe.
Oh my god. Yeah, a very expressive face.
Has he done like a goofy role? I'm trying to think. Can't really think of any. Like he's always like the stoic, handsome guy. Like I don't see him in anything like goofy.
Yeah, but can't you see him like in the makeup? I could just see it, and I can see him like dancing around and going, "It's showtime."
What about like Jim Carrey?
Yeah,
Too old?
I was just thinking Jim Carrey. I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
No, because he was
Too
amazing
much.
in Sonic. Like
He was.
So
Really good.
I think he could pull it off. Honestly, he's great in
Adam Sandler.
everything. Really. No, Adam Sandler was lost. Like Hubie was a classic, but I don't necessarily think
Adam
it's because of Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Mike Myers? I think he could.
He's
he could
old,
pull it
too.
off. He is old now. Yeah. Yeah, but so is Michael Keaton.
Yeah, but there's a reason you don't see Mike Myers do like much anymore. You know, he does serious roles more than anything.
Right.
So I don't know. It'd have to be someone I think expressive and just really willing to fucking go out there. But yeah, personally, I wouldn't recast Beetlejuice. I'd have another bioexorcist to replace him. You know, that would be kind of my choice. But it needs to. If you're gonna be Beetlejuice, fucking have Michael Keaton, or just drop it. All right.
Bring back Juno, and she can be the new Beetlejuice.
Right. All right. So I
can't imagine she's alive though.
Coach, where's the bathroom?
All right. Next question is from Casey. I hope I said that right because she specifically said how to pronounce it. Who's your favorite Rocky Horror Picture Show character?
Oh.
Mine is Magenta.
Okay.
I've always wanted to be her for Halloween too.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'll go
think you
with,
pull that off.
yeah, she definitely
too.
could.
Yeah.
I'll go Riff Raff.
Riff Raff's, he's really dope. My favorite
Yeah.
my favorite scene is when they're walking up the castle and he's in the fucking window singing. I'm like, he's so creepy. Why isn't Brad? I like Brad, and it's because
Yeah.
he's so like naive. Like
He's
he
sweet.
just he's a fucking goofball. So Brad Majors, cool name too.
Yeah, that's an awesome name. I'm gonna go, just the obvious, I guess, Frankenfurter, because fuck, he just, goddamn, Tim Curry kills that role.
Yeah.
I got some words for him. He's a meanie.
Yeah, he
He's a
is.
meanie, dude. We'll get there though.
Yeah.
I was going to mention this too. Barry Bostwick, he does cons and he signs like tidy whiteys. Like he has
That's
like
dope.
pairs of them on his table.
That's awesome. If you were in a shadow cast, who would you play?
Ooh.
Magenta, I've always wanted to do it. We should create our own.
Create our own. All right. I mean, I'd go Riff Raff. My favorite character. So yeah, I think that'd be a fun one to play for sure.
I'll be Eddie. I'll come in, steal the show, and then get murdered.
Love it. Yeah, it's easy,
Yep.
quick and easy.
Yep.
Yeah, Eddie's that Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be the same. Just get into the cast, get a memorable scene, and get the fuck out. Yeah.
I couldn't pull off Frankfurter, obviously, and then I couldn't pull off Rocky. So it leaves the biker or the guy in the wheelchair.
Right. Yeah. Who's that supposed to be played? I know it's him. So one of the characters is supposed to be played by Vincent Price.
I think
no, it was the professor.
The narrator.
Yeah, the
The
narrator.
narrator,
That's right.
yeah, he would have been a good play.
It was-
that would have been perfect for him.
Yeah, he really wanted to do it. It was an availability issue, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But that would have been fucking. Can you imagine?
That would have been
Vincent Price?
awesome.
All right. Next one is from Caleb. Hey, squad. Of all 198 podcasts, this has to be my favorite to date because of how much I love Beetlejuice and Rocky Horror. I've been obsessed with Beetlejuice since I was a kid. As you can tell by my profile picture, he's dressed as Beetlejuice in his profile picture. And Rocky Horror has become a staple every year for me. I could go on about how much I love both movies, but in short, Beetlejuice and Frankenfurter is why I love both movies as much as I do. So first question is, what is your favorite costume you've dressed as of a movie character?
Great question.
And Joe, Juno passed away in 1999.
R.I.P.
Sylvia
Juno.
Sidney.
All right. I mean, seemed like she had a good life. She was pretty old.
Born in 1910, man. That's a freaking
Wow.
long life.
All
88
right,
years
yeah.
old. Michael Myers, man. Like the Rob Zombie Michael Myers got a really good costume one year and just rocked it. Mowed the lawn in the costume. It was really fun. That was
Mhm.
it.
Nice. I mean, I've done a few. I'm gonna go Freddy Krueger. I was pretty young. I was like in elementary school, and yeah, I just have fond memories of it.
I'm trying to think. I can't remember if I've done any movie costumes. I think Ghostface might be the only one, perhaps. So I'll pick that one.
Nice. I mean, technically, The Undertaker, because he was in Escape the Undertaker that I talked about last week. But realistically, it would probably also be either Freddy Krueger or Tim Curry's Pennywise. I did both in my garage haunt, and I would really like act up those roles for people who like came to the door. Pennywise, I'd taunt them, and Freddy Krueger, I'd like try to lure him in. Of course, they couldn't actually come in because I had a barrier, but just like trying to creep them out and stuff. And it was just a lot of fun. So those are probably my two favorites. He says Beetlejuice is mine, of course. Second, I've recently introduced both movies to friends with similar reactions being, what did I just watch? And that's not what I expected, but they enjoyed them overall a lot. So do any of you have any stories after showing someone a horror movie for the first time?
Greasy Strangler is my go-to. And it's usually a very fun time. Greasy Strangler, I love it. It's great.
I was like really intrigued when I showed Sam a Serbian film for the first time because I wanted to see just like what her reaction was, and honestly, she handled it very well. She really was not too disgusted or shocked or anything. So I don't know if I should have been disturbed that she just was like let it roll off her shoulders.
Was it the unrated?
Yeah.
Oh Christ.
Okay, well, let me just say that's because I looked at spoilers to see like what the scenes were going to be, and I don't know, I always tend to think about like what goes on behind the camera, like how do they get it to set up a certain way and just all the stuff that goes into it. So it definitely like took me out of being in the movie. But I think if I just watched it by myself and Joe didn't tell me about it and hype it up or whatever, I probably would have been like, I mean, I am like, what the fuck, but what the fuck? I'm trying to think. Greasy Strangler is good. I remember when I showed Joe that one, he fell asleep. Now all of a sudden it's become his favorite.
Typical Joe move.
Typical
Hey.
Joe.
You know, sometimes you're tired, you know, after a long day of work or something, and you
You were on vacation.
I might have been on vacation. Well, even more so. When you're on vacation, you get extra tired.
All right.
I'd had a few libations in me too.
What else is new? Typical Joe.
Oh.
What about you, Steve?
Just stop while you're ahead, Joe.
Tell him, Todd.
I live away from all my friends, so I don't really like get to see their reaction when I tell them about a movie. They just kind of give me their feedback later. So the closest thing I would have would be my wife, and my two favorite ones I made her watch like recently were Greasy Strangler and The Special. Both them, she looked at me like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And what the fuck's wrong with your friends for recommending this to you? So I always
She didn't like either of them.
She did. She like hated that she liked him. I think that's
She felt dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Because
just like Janet in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Especially for Greasy Strangler, because she really said she hated it, but then she was quoting it for like weeks. So that's how I knew. I got her. And finally, any merch from either movie. I own a few pieces from both, but my favorite piece is the light up Beetlejuice sign from Spirit. Thanks you guys so much for this week's movies.
Nada, zero. Just the Blu-rays.
I feel like I do have some Beetlejuice stuff, but honestly, I can't even think of what. And I don't think I have anything Rocky Horror. Do they make much Rocky Horror stuff? I know they do have some figures out there, but yeah, no, I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, by extension, I'm assuming same thing for you.
I'm sorry, what?
By extension, I'm assuming.
Oh, I was like, what did you just call me? I don't think I do.
No.
So Rocky Horror, I have one autograph on my wall. It's from, and I forget the names. I don't have the IMDb in front of me, but the main guy, like the guy with the glasses. So I have his autograph. And Beetlejuice, I have a little section for Beetlejuice in my horror cave, which is I have the same light up sign that Keelan's talking about, where it says Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I have the like two like these mirror things of Beetlejuice and Lydia, and I have a bunch of stuff. I have the tombstone that like lights up and stuff like that. I have one of those little candy holder Beetlejuice things. I have the snake. Yeah, so I have a bunch of Beetlejuice stuff. I have a whole like little section dedicated to him because I really fucking love that character. All right, back to Chuck for Captain Amazing, because he had asked that first one late, like right after our episode last week, so I was going back to it. Can't wait for the reviews this week. I'm full of anticipation to go with my above question. I humbly submit these as well. What does the afterlife look like for you?
Oof.
Who's getting deep and who's making jokes? Let's see.
I hope it doesn't look like how they portrayed in Beetlejuice, because it's kind of scary.
Terrifying.
I've always imagined it to be like super like open, like with like no buildings and everyone just kind of roaming around, like and just chilling, and it's like foggy sort of like or like cloudy, I guess you could say. That's just like whenever I think of it, that's how I imagine it to be, which sounds pretty depressing, but I don't know, like but not.
So like a festival,
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Just no corn mazes for you.
No, please. That'd be my hell.
I don't know. Without getting too sentimental, I guess just all your buddies, your old dogs, your old kitties, your old fish, and just chilling, hanging out.
Yeah, I like that. I think it would be, my afterlife would be quiet with like all of my pets and any of my family.
Imagine you're walking or whatever, and then like all your pets are just like, and they all
Oh my
like
God, I
start
would be
running
so
at
happy.
you, wagging tails, licking paw.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Bringing video games into this, my heaven or afterlife would basically be Minecraft on creative mode. And what I mean by that is you're given like a blank slate and you can have whatever you want whenever you want. You're basically in God mode of your own world. So you feel like living in, Star Wars world, you feel like living in Lord of the Rings, you feel like living in Nightmare on Elm Street, you want to see your grandfather, you want to see your old dog, you want to see, your favorite celebrity. It's anything you want for the rest of time, so to keep it interesting. So that would be my idea of afterlife. We'll see. High aspirations. If you could build your perfect horror specimen, what parts from whom would you use?
Wow. I would use Jason's torso for sure. And then I would use, I'm trying to think of like what horror villain had like arms that were
Biggest
just
wiener.
weapons.
Oh, arms.
Oh wow, biggest wiener. I guess I would use Freddy's arms, because at least there's one weapon on it.
He's got those little pencil arms though. He's got no mass to him.
But he has Jason's torso, so
he's a big
but
torso
baby
and
arms.
little arms.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like a 9-year-old.
Right. And then I would use Godzilla's legs and King Kong's head.
It's fucking monstrosity, dude. I don't know. I would do Frankenhooker at the end. Just Frankenhooker. That's what I want.
I don't know. Nothing comes to mind.
I guess it depends what you're using your specimen for, right? Because
Mhm.
if you're using it for some reasons, I'd go with Trash from Return of the Living Dead. If you're using it for other reasons, I would go with the Ultimate Killing Machine. You know, just pick the best weapons from each character. You know, like maybe Jason's face because he has the mask, and Freddy's arm because he has the glove, and just different pieces of my favorite slashers, I guess, to make a big time killing machine. So that's what I would do.
I like that. I would maybe use like any horror pets to make one big creepy pet.
Super pet.
Mm-hmm.
But what are your favorite horror pets?
Gizmo on Cujo's body because he's like big.
Right. That's awesome. So Gizmo's face on Cujo's body.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Can you imagine Gizmo's face on Pumpkinhead's body?
Yes.
That'd be cute.
Gizmo's face on anything would be awesome. All right. His last question. Sam face. Double feature, double snacks. What's the food pairing, Ghoul?
A nice big sliced plate of Eddie meatloaf.
Oh,
Love it.
Isn't that funny? Like, was he meatloaf before the movie? It's
I
like,
think
isn't that
so.
funny that he
So,
was like
yeah.
meatloaf? Like you eat meatloaf, and he was
I never even
eaten
thought about it until
on
you said that.
Rocky
yeah.
Horror.
Mhm. I love it.
But I won't do that.
What about the Beetlejuice food pairing?
Beetlejuice.
Shrimp cocktail.
There you go.
Yep,
I like
love
that. Yep. Shrimp cocktail. I've never had shrimp cocktail.
Neither have I.
It's good. I mean, if you like seafood. Yeah.
What's the
I like it.
cocktail sauce? Does it just taste like chilled ketchup?
Kind of like a spicy, almost like sriracha, like sort of. I feel like along those lines.
Very nice. All right. Next here's a question from Lil3 Cord Me. What's the best maze or haunted house you've ever been to?
I feel like Steve, you should lead this one. You've been to billion.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to think of it. I think overall it would probably have to be the Poltergeist house at Halloween Horror Nights in like 2018, I would say. I didn't expect much from that house. It didn't seem like one of those like houses that could really be done properly, but fuck, was it well done. Like you really felt like you were in that world, and it was just friggin' awesome. So that was awesome. And also Halloween. One of the best moments I've ever had in a haunted house, and I've talked about in the past, so I'll go pretty quickly, was in a Halloween house. And when I go into these houses, I'm kind of always like aware of where the scare actors are at all times. You know, it's just the way it is. And I get into a room and I look around, there's no scare actors. So then I look at the decorations and stuff, and I turn around and I look, there's like it's in a bedroom, and there's like a mirror, and I look in the mirror and Michael Myers is standing right behind me. And I was just like, wow, that's like perfect timing, and just felt like exactly like the movies, you know? So that was fucking awesome. So those are probably my two favorite ones.
For me, it would be Haunted Overload, which is in New Hampshire. Sam took me last year for the first time, and it blew me away. It was without a doubt the best one I've ever been to. Obviously, haven't been to like Halloween Horror Nights or anything yet. But as far as like local haunts and stuff, and it was actually, I just read, actually it was voted one of the best in America on a list for this year. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Honestly, just like the line to get in is incredible. Like they really like go all out just for that. And then when you go into the actual haunt, it's amazing. So yeah, I highly recommend it for anyone that's in the area.
I second that. It's absolutely beautiful, like all of the pictures that you can see online, and they just do a really good job with lighting. That's like, it's like such an easy setup, but lighting is what makes it, I think.
What was it called again?
Haunt Overload.
For me, Not Scary Farm in Southern California. It's not like a particular maze, but they always had like this live show called The Hanging, and it was hosted by Freddy Krueger, and they would do like, it's basically like a stunt show with like horror like icons coming up and a lot of fake blood and beheadings. It was like always really cool. And then
That sounds
Elvira
amazing.
too. Yeah, Elvira used to do her show at Not Scary Farm, so I saw that one year. That was really cool.
I miss Hans so bad. Can't wait to go to another one next year for sure. Our next question: favorite song from Rocky Horror?
It's tough, man. I love the soundtrack. Like, love it.
Yeah, it's great. That is a tough question.
The one
Mine's
I
sweet.
sing the most is Science Fiction Double Feature.
Yeah, it's a classic.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Mine's Sweet Transvestite.
From Transsexual Transylvania. It's good, man. The whole like, there's not one bad song in my opinion from this song. Like, usually, like, something drags, you're like, fuck this. But even like what's it called? The one about the sword of Damocles or something like that. It's like still pretty good.
What's the one that Eddie sings?
Hot
About rock and
Patootie.
roll. Is that what it's called?
I believe so. Bless my soul.
It's a bop.
It's a good one.
It is.
And fucking Frankenfooter comes out. He's jealous because he's not the center of attention.
Ugh,
Fucking prick.
psycho.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go classic on this one and go Time Warp. You know, even though I've heard it a million times, you just want to fucking get up and dance when
Yep.
when it comes on. It's so high energy and it is awesome. I fucking love it. So yeah, so that shows like how crazy this movie is. But we'll talk about it. But we all chose something different. Next question: if you're Adam or Barbara spending your afterlife at your home with the Dietz family, what would you do to keep yourself from getting bored? That's an easy one for me. One word: doobie.
Masturbate.
Yeah, 35,000 movies at your fingertips.
And you watch it though as a deceased person.
Yeah,
If you're
why not?
living like them, you can.
That's true.
They're
They can
basically
do
just
pretty
living a
much
normal
anything.
life. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, they are pretty much doing whatever they want, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
As long as
if someone
they
were
stay
to
in the
walk in the
house.
room. So if someone were to walk in the room, they would see like paint cans and brushes moving around by themselves.
I guess. Well, they can see them by the end of the movie.
Yeah, but like the realtor
But-
couldn't probably.
Right.
Mhm.
I just hope like people who moved in weren't assholes like they were. I don't know.
Were they assholes, Todd, or just misunderstood?
Assholes. Pretentious assholes. But I do like when the agent's like, I've been losing money on her shit for years.
Right. Yeah. But what would you do for you not to be bored in like eternity in a house?
I probably just haunt people, man.
Yeah.
Nothing mean, nothing like malicious or anything, just like moving milk and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Or like tipping it over and getting someone in trouble. Searching
Yeah.
up weird porn and leaving it on the computer.
Yeah, I agree. I would like try to scare people, like just like little things, like Todd said, nothing that would like harm them or anything, but just fun little things like pranks.
Stuff to like put doubt in their mind. Like if they put like the car keys right there, you move it to the opposite side. And
Right.
you're just like hee giggling the whole time.
Yep.
Hee.
I think I would just do like Halloween crafting in the attic.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Build some Legos. That could be fun, I guess. You know.
Yeah, but you need someone to get them for you, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to befriend someone who can see you or something. I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Or else you're stuck in the same world as that fucking A24 movie, Ghost Story. Where, anyway, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say,
Movie's
yeah.
It's
Anyway.
great, dare I say it. What happens if like your house gets destroyed by like a flood or something?
you
Are you
just
scared?
stand there like an asshole? And-
No, but the sandworms.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe
I
it's
guess.
like a bubble where even if the house isn't there, it's like
Even though,
within that square, you're fine. Yeah.
except for Beetlejuice, who the worm breaks the rules.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of anyway. We get to that during the review. The rules are very.
Maybe
Yeah.
you would just like
Recommendations, not rules.
maybe you would disappear back into the afterlife, and then when the house gets rebuilt or whatever gets rebuilt on that, you go like back in.
Well, maybe.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And she ends it with, hope you all have an awesome Halloween. So thank you very much. Next ones are from Weezerface. What about this season gives you the most Halloween feelings? Like for me, it's the smell in the air, the crunchy leaves rattling along the street when the wind blows.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely a factor. For me, it's like TV. Like all the Halloween specials come on, and all the horror movies are on like 24/7, and yeah, so that's like a big factor. And then just like the stores has all the Halloween, decor out and stuff like that. So yeah.
Pumpkins.
Mm.
Pumpkins everywhere.
Yep, pumpkins everywhere. Definitely like the chill in the air and the smell. And like when you wake up early in the morning, it's still dark outside and it's not as depressing as it is in wintertime because you're like, ooh, it's October. And then along with pumpkins, like pumpkin flavored Everything, even deodorant.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have a
cool.
friend who ordered it, but I have not heard how it is. So I couldn't give you a product
They
review.
probably, I wouldn't doubt they probably got like pumpkin condoms and
Pumpkin
shit like that
Axe
too.
body
Pumpkin douches.
Yeah, I think I'm in a mix of all that. I the TV really does it a lot because I watch like anything that's Halloween. So all the cooking shows, like then there's a ton of them. I'll watch all of them. I just love seeing everything about the season. Shopping, for me, I know you guys probably don't have this problem as much as I do, but finding horror stuff locally is impossible for the other 10 months out of the year. So for me, it's like just a complete fucking shopping spree to kind of gear up so I don't have to pay huge shipping and conversion fees. And the fall, you have to rake the stupid leaves and all that stuff, but it just puts it all together. And yeah, I'm excited. And my house is so spooky. It's got all this like Halloween shit around. It's awesome. Good times. Her next question, it's a marry, fuck, kill. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. Frankenfurter, Rocky, and Eddie.
Oh wow. All right. Huh.
Killing Frankenfooter right off the bat because he's giving me something. STD maybe. Marrying Rocky because he's naive. He's a good-looking guy, Go to the gym together, maybe get me motivated.
I like
And
it.
then banging Eddie because he's just a wild boy that you're just gonna smash and pass,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I'm totally with Todd on that for all those reasons.
Who are the options now?
The buff one, the motorcycle one, and then Tim Curry.
This is tough. I guess I'll marry Rocky. I'll sleep with Tim Curry and then just
Well,
kill
there's no sleeping involved, girl.
Eddie. Guess I'll stay up all night with Tim.
All right. He'd
I
trick
feel
you
like
anyway.
you'd be
He'd trick you
fine.
anyway. He'd trick you anyway, even
Exactly.
if you didn't want to.
It's true.
I'm gonna go like Sam. I'm gonna fuck Frankenfurter, but he's got to wear the wig for that he does for to sleep with the dude there in the movie. I'm gonna marry Rocky and gonna kill Eddie. I do like Eddie, but yeah, Rocky I think would be having easier time with.
Rocky would take you on the back of his bike, just fucking cruising,
Right?
take you to that picnic spot, lay down
That's
like
Eddie.
a lunch. Eddie, there you go.
That's Eddie.
Like a lunch. What
There
did I
was
say?
someone, Eddie or
Mhm.
Rocky.
Oh, I said Rocky.
Yeah. There was someone who dressed up as the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the costume
Mhm.
the costume party, and there was a guy who even dressed up like Rocky, and I really thought it
Mhm.
was him.
He
Like,
was jacked.
He was jacked, and like his little gold like panties were just sitting on his nice sorry, Joe, on his nice little butt. And I was like, damn boy, look at your freaking body. Like, geez, like Hercules, man.
It was impressive. Like he looked just like him. Like I was like,
Yeah.
wow. I was like, that dude,
It's good.
he picked the right
It's
costume.
real good.
Yeah.
Next year, he's gonna be the saxophone guy from Lost Boys.
Nice.
That'd be a great costume.
Mhm. I met him at a con.
That's so random. They did that.
It was. He was super nice though.
Nice. Her last question: how many movies mentioned in the opening song have you seen? Flash Gordon, Invisible Man, Forbidden Planet, etc.
Quite a bit.
Man.
Forbidden Planet is one of my favorite classic sci-fi movies. So if you've never watched that, I highly recommend it. But that's why it's my favorite movie, because it's a good nostalgic trip.
Yeah, I've seen some of them for sure. I couldn't tell you how many. I didn't even realize that. Is it everything they mentioned? Like how many did they mention in that opening song? I don't even remember.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I've definitely seen Flash Gordon.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
I've seen that.
King Kong. I'm looking at the lyrics right now. Came from Outer Space. Like
Mhm.
every other thing that's not the chorus has something.
All right, cool. I never really picked that up. I mean, I picked up some of them, but not all of them. But yeah, I've definitely seen some of those.
Couldn't tell you.
Tell us.
I couldn't.
Couldn't or won't.
You tell me. Damn it, Janet.
I love you.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them. I have seen the three that she mentioned: Flash Gordon, Invisible Man, and Forbidden Planet, and a few of the others. I haven't seen them all, but from my memory. But like Joe, I mean, this is only my second time watch. First time in 20 something years. So I didn't catch all the lyrics right away. So,
Give me a Flash Gordon theme song there.
oh,
Steve.
Flash! Savior of
save
the
every one of
universe. I love fucking Flash Gordon. The scene in Ted where
Yeah.
they is like fucking hilarious.
Great.
Yeah. All right. Last series of questions here from Marla, Creature Feature. Another Mary fuck kill.
Oh.
Riff Raff, Magenta, and Columbia.
Oh. Well, this isn't fair because I think
Joe's
me,
marrying Riff
I think
Raff.
me, Todd, and Steve. All right. So Magenta and Columbia. I am going to marry. Ooh, this is tough because they're both crazy between Magenta and Columbia, but I think I'm going to marry Magenta and fuck Columbia and kill Riff Raff.
Nice.
Sorry, Riff Raff.
Well, Riff Raff does straighten up at the end though, like it's all show. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So you doing Alien Bounty Hunter Riff Raff, or are we doing Igor?
That's true.
I'm
with Igor.
I'm with you there, but I'm flipping the ladies because I think Columbia, she's a little sweetheart. I think she's a closet sweetheart because when Eddie dies, she's really torn up about it.
Okay.
And I think you can get both of them in the sack at the same time.
Oh.
So
all right.
there you go.
This is hard. This podcast is supposed to be fun, not hard.
She said. I know Steve was thinking it.
Okay, thanks, Sam. You're up against the wall. The time is ticking. Okay, kill
Madness
Riff
takes
Raff.
its toll.
Sleep with Magenta, or yeah. Sleep with Magenta and marry what's her face? Columbia.
I thought Magenta was your favorite.
She is, but I'm also scared of her.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the same order. So yeah, marrying Columbia, fucking Magenta, and killing Riff Raff. One more question, and that will be end for the question period this week. While it's on my mind, have you guys watched Twin Peaks? If yes, your thoughts on the show, movie. If not, is it on your to be watched at some point list? Thank you, Marla.
To be watched.
Yeah, I watched like a few years ago. I started watching it, and it didn't like grab me right away, so I stopped. I think I watched the first couple episodes. But yeah, it's definitely on my to be watch. I would like to watch it at some point because I know it's so beloved.
I'll watch it, but I don't know when. I don't even know what it's about, really.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's so much horror as it's like trippy sci-fi almost. I've seen a couple episodes because my dad watched it, but I've never actually sat down to watch it myself. So yeah, I mean, I definitely, if I found it somewhere, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, I would definitely probably check it out. I don't know how many seasons there are of that. I think it's probably quite a bit, right?
They like redid it too, or they continued.
Yeah, they did like a revival, couple, like not super long ago. So 30 episodes. Oh, okay. And that's 2 seasons. Yeah, I'd totally watch it. If
How
I could
many?
find it somewhere. 2 seasons.
Oh.
Only 30 episodes. It's not too bad. It's not like the X-Files or anything. It has like 11 seasons. So, which is a great show, by the way. I love that show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention this to Todd because I know he mentioned about the Iron Lady doing a con, and she has been signed to do cons, so she will start popping up at cons very soon, I'm sure.
$50 probably too. Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Don't encourage them.
Well, strike while the iron's hot. I don't blame her. I would do the same.
But she's essentially just an extra, though.
Exactly. Yeah. No, totally. I mean, she'll fade into obscurity like in a year, and cons won't ask her. But like because it's like a big trending thing, they'll have her there for a few months, and then you'll never see her again, probably.
Well, I hope she makes a lot of money.
I'm sure she'll make some
for
dough.
her.
Yep.
Horror's got to be the only genre that does that, right? Where you fucking so much as appear as the smallest like sliver of thing on a popular movie, and you become a fucking con goer.
Does that not happen at like Star Wars conventions? Like, are there like super random ass people like?
Yeah, there's Star Trek cons and stuff.
Yeah, but do they go with like really random people? I've never seen someone.
I've never been to.
I've never
one
been
before.
But...
Right.
I would love to go to one. That'd be fun.
Star Wars one.
Star Wars or Star Trek or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely no like romantic comedy con.
Well, Sam and I next year are going to go to 90s con.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas in the house or what?
No. I know it's
Sabrina?
a Sabrina the Teenage Witch like reunion and Family Matters reunion, and I forget who else is going to be. Oh, I know Nev Campbell is going to be there. Lacey Chabert.
The Lawrence
The
brothers.
Lawrence brothers.
Joey, Matt, and Andy.
Yep. So we'll give you guys a rundown on that when we go. I think it's in March.
That's hilarious. All right, so that's all the questions we got this week. Thank you for everyone for asking them. And now a word from our deadly sponsor.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
What watched? I'll go. So I watched Don't Breathe Part 2, which kind of like came and went with like not a lot of fanfare. I know we didn't really talk about that much. And anyway, it's definitely an unwanted, unneeded sequel. It's about our anti-hero, I guess you want to call him, Mr. Lang. Stephen Lang, I think is his name, right? Yeah, it picks off right where the movie first one lets off, where her house burns down, things like that. And then fast forward like 12 years later, he's got a daughter living with them, and like he's a super protective dad and all that stuff, and he's training her how to kill and how to hide out, basically be like him. And then there's a side plot where there's like a murderer on the loose, like trying to harvest organs. And there's these like weird dudes that are like pieces of shit, and they all happen to be dishonorable veterans that were dishonorably discharged, kind of strange. And then they want to kidnap the daughter. We don't know why. So basically half of the movie is the bad guys going into Stephen Lang's house and trying to kidnap the daughter, and then the other half is Stephen Lang trying to get the daughter back. It's really weird though. Like I'm not mad that I watched it, and I'll never watch it again, but like the tension was good, the kills were like really brutal, but it just wasn't needed. And like this guy's not a good character. Like he's a rapist, and you don't know who to root for because these bad guys are like bad, like they're fucking not redeemable at all. And then you have the murderous rapist who's not redeemable at all, and you like, who am I rooting for? So there's absolutely no one to root for besides the little girl, but she's just like a plot piece, you know, she's not the main character. So worth a one watched, pretty average, unneeded, and I hope they don't go anywhere further because the first one was all we needed.
Other than it being him, is there anything that ties it to the first one, like the other people that were in the first?
No, not at all.
Weird.
Which I don't remember how the first one ended. I thought he got arrested.
Yeah, well, he's being picked up by ambulance or something when the movie ended, I think.
And yeah, he's just scot-free in this one. So I was like, oh, I guess maybe I forgot something from the first one, but
What a weird choice.
Yeah.
Any turkey baster kills in this one?
No, he's the good character, quote unquote. In this movie.
Good.
So no mention.
That's even more weird. Like, yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, and then at the end too, like there's supposed to be like this emotional scene where he's trying to like tell his daughter like that he's a good guy. He's like, or convince her that like he did things for the right reason. He's like, I'm a murderer. I'm a rapist. I'm like, wait, you're trying to win her over? But I love you. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Get out of here. But yeah, this is a weird one.
Yeah, you might murder for necessity.
Yeah.
But you're not raping someone for necessity. You know, there's no situation where you have to rape someone. Nope. So no.
But the turkey baster too, like
yeah,
he's malicious. He's mean spirited. He's not a good hero character at all.
Right. Yeah. I'll still watch it the one time if it's on free somewhere, but I probably won't rent it or anything. Joan Sam, you said you had nothing this week. You've been too busy partying your asses off.
Yeah, not much this week. We've been pretty busy. Keeping up with Chucky. Not going to talk about though, because I know we'll be doing that. But so we watched some of that, and we have been watching Eli Roth's History of Horror. I don't know if you guys have been watching that or not, but it's been really good like so far this season. So if you're into like In Search of Darkness and like horror documentary stuff like that, I definitely recommend checking that out. Also, did you have? I don't know if anyone's been watching the movies that made us, but they did Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Aliens, and Friday the 13th. You can check it out over on Netflix. So I just watched the Nightmare on Elm Street one so far, which I thought was okay. I wasn't super impressed with it, but I'm excited for the other ones. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. I've been fucking just killing 2021 movies lately. So I have like a list of 12 that I could choose from. So I'm going to pick two that I think were most worthy to talk about. The first one is an Italian film that I found over on Netflix, and it's called A Classic Horror Story. So in this one, a group of people are picked up in a camper and being brought somewhere to like, it's almost like a weird Uber situation that they have going. And the main, like the driver is filming the whole thing, and this whole thing, it doesn't really matter to the story. And they crash and like in the middle of the road, and they're driving in the woods and stuff. And all of a sudden they wake up and they're in front of this super weird house. And they think that's super weird. So they go into the house, and the driver recognizes it because apparently it's a house from a legend where three kind of demonish characters reside. And each of the three demon characters have a different like sense that affects them. Like one of them's blind, one of them's mute, the other one's deaf, and they do things to like kill their victims according to their like disabilities. And this whole like adventure ensues where it becomes kind of a cult situation. It's almost like The Village meets Midsommar meets a little bit of Wrong Turn type of situation. And it's a really interesting film. And to be honest with you, up until the last 20 minutes, I thought for sure this would be in my top 10 of the year. But there's the ending. It's one of those endings that you're either going to fucking love or hate. And I was more on the hate side. I think it was an interesting idea, but it wasn't executed well. So I would be curious as to what you guys would think, because like I said, it really depends on how you feel about the ending, whether or not this is a good movie, which is what I thought, or a great movie, which I would be curious to see what you think. So that's A Classic Horror Story over on Netflix.
All right, I was trying to knock out some 2021 movies as well. Nowhere near as much as Mr. Steve there with his 65, whatever it is now. But I watched Sun over on Shudder. I know Steve and Joe watched the screener of this a while back, and it stars the granddaughter character from Halloween and Halloween Kills as a young mother who escaped a cult. And she has a young son that she's taking care of, but she starts seeing visions or home invaders like of the cultists coming back and fucking with her son. He soon gets like violently ill, where doctors don't know what's going on, and then murders start happening. It follows like a detective played by Emil Hirsch, Sam's boyfriend, who's kind of trying to help her out, but also trying to like solve murders and shit like that. I ended up really liking this one. I don't remember what you guys said about it, but I liked it. Was predictable. Like I knew where it was going, and the plot beats were like, oh, you knew what was going to happen, because it was kind of like the plot wasn't trying to hide anything, but it was well acted, and the kid didn't annoy me, which is always a huge risk with the child actor, and the violence was pretty damn good. So yeah, it might make my top 10. Got Sun on Shudder.
Yeah, I think we were all pretty favorable on that one as well. I don't think it will make my top 10, but it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, same thing for me. It just misses out on my top 10, but I did really enjoy it, and it was definitely a solid film. My last one this week is another 2021 film that I found over on Amazon Prime, and that's Devil's Island. So in this one, a kind of early 20-something girl inherits a house from her grandparents that they passed away in on an island in the Thousand Islands up in New York. And she decides that she's going to leave her life and live there, and just live in like seclusion and try to make a living there, and just kind of see, I guess, find herself, stuff like that. So she goes to this little island that has the house on it, and there's memories of her grandparents, of course, and there's a caretaker that takes care of some of the islands around that area who knew her grandparents, and kind of like settling her in, tell her how to get food and how to work the boat and everything, all that stuff. So he leaves, and then she starts exploring the house and everything, and she starts uncovering clues that there might be some cult activity within the area. And as she meets the locals who are quite weary of her, she starts to suspect that they don't want her there for some reason, and she wants to find out why. And then a bunch of stuff happens, and yeah, I don't want to say too much because it's a new film. This is not a great film by any means, but the main actress like really kind of lured me in, as like I could relate to her. Like that's how I would be kind of if I were in that situation. And she hasn't done like anything else, so very good like first role for her. The mystery kind of kept me going throughout the story. It really takes twists and turns throughout the whole film, and overall I enjoyed it. Not something I'd revisit necessarily, not something I'd go out of my way to recommend, but if you want to watch a cool like kind of story and try to puzzle this mystery together, check it out. So that's Devil's Island over on Amazon Prime.
All right, get them trivia questions out. The points are as follows. Myself leading 101. Steve got another point pickup due to the tape review. He's at 99. Joe is at 97. Sam 66. This is game number 41. I got a shit ton of questions sent to me. Thank you very much by like 4 different people. I truly appreciate it. Who would like to lead off today? I'll go.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. This one's from Mondo, Buddy Mondo from the Let's XP Geeking Gaming podcast. And Nightmare on Elm Street, the first movie, Tina is said to be what age?
16.
16 is on the board.
17.
17.
17.
What was that, Sam?
17.
Joe said 17.
Oh, so I can't say it now?
Well, both can't get it right if it's 17. No.
Yes, we
Well,
can.
Okay, well, everyone's wrong. It's 15, which is kind of gross because she's banging dudes in that movie.
Oh.
So I did not remember that.
Oh, and I also found out today that the Freelings in Poltergeist are 32, the parents in that movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was
on
like, what the fuck?
What?
on
Yeah.
Discord.
Like you
They
think
look
they
like they're
should be
like
older?
50.
Yeah, they're at least 45.
Yeah, right. I was like, wow, so I'm older than they were in that movie, but they look like they're about 20 years older than me.
I'm 34 with a 12-year-old. So
Yeah, we were talking about that on the Discord today, like things that made us feel old.
Mhm.
For me, is one of my good friends became a grandmother. I was like,
wow.
because I mean, she had her son at 18. Her son had a kid at 20. She's 38. Boom, grandmother.
Wow.
So, fuck. Like,
That's
come on,
early grandma age too.
I'm not even in my fucking 40s and already have friends that are grandparents. You know, like, come on.
Catch up, Steve.
Yeah. All right, so I'll ask the next one.
All right.
So thank you for okay, yeah, I got a bunch sent as well. So this one's from Cody, Oddjob versus 007. This famous horror director went by the name Ape Snake when he cameoed in porn.
What the fuck?
It's
Wes Craven.
Fuck you,
Yes.
Joe. Damn it. I couldn't get the name out.
Oh, wow.
That's Craven.
Yeah.
He like directed porn,
Yeah.
right? I think, yeah.
He did. Yeah.
Really?
Well, the
Yeah.
question says he cameoed. I don't know.
I don't think he like started in any. I don't
Nah,
think he
he
did
directed
anything.
it.
Yeah. I
Well,
think
was he in the
directed
background,
porn.
like eating a
I
sandwich?
don't
Like, what
know.
the fuck was
Maybe.
he
Just
doing?
walking by.
Let's make some fucky.
Right.
He's doing all these like, all right, yeah, let's get the fogging machine on the set. And we'll fucking shut up, Wes. Call me Abe Stink. All right, Sam
all
or
right.
Joseph.
All right, I'll go.
All right, you go. Steve.
She's
Right.
ready. She's bringing the heat.
I'm ready.
She is.
All right. Thanks to Kayla for sending the questions in for this week. Scream was inspired by real events that took place in what state?
California.
Got California on the board.
Oh.
Illinois.
Got Illinois on the board.
Steve doesn't know our states. Say
Yeah.
Hawaii, Steve.
No, he doesn't.
I'm gonna go Florida. People are fucking crazy in Florida.
They aren't crazy.
Steve would be right.
All right.
That's
Yay.
Steve.
Thank you, crazy Florida.
Wow.
Very nice.
Guess you guys weren't listening to Let's Not last week.
Oh shit! I did listen to it, but I don't
I'm
know.
just teasing.
Okay, I'll go last. Thank you to everyone that sent me questions this week. I did get a few people sending me questions, but I'm gonna save them because
Ooh, Joe's got some
it's,
originies.
it's Halloween, so I have to do all Halloween holiday themed
Ooh.
trivia this week. So happy
Okay.
Halloween, everyone. So my first question is, when is the next time there will be a full moon on Halloween?
Oof.
Give me the year.
I'm gonna be stupid and say 2021.
All right.
There was one last year.
I'm gonna say 2023.
I'm gonna go. So if there was one last year, that would mean 2045.
You are all incorrect. The correct answer is 2039.
Does it happen every so like Pennywise years? It comes back every so often.
I guess. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Good research.
It really pissed me off because last year there was no Halloween in this area,
I know.
and it was on a Saturday, on a clear day, and there was a
Full moon.
fucking full moon. Like, come on.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Uh,
Perfect storm.
back to you.
Oops, sorry. Also from Mondo, in the curse of Michael Myers, Michael is said to be inflicted with this ancient druid curse. What's the
Thorn.
name of fucking Joe's on a rampage today. Wowzers. Oof. Making a
Yeah.
comeback, baby.
Do it.
all
Fuck
right.
yeah, baby. Fuck yeah.
Still from Cody here.
He's the goat.
All right. In Gerald's game, Jessie
Gerald's
throws
game.
a book at the wild dogs eating her dead husband. What's the title of that book?
The Shining.
Wrong.
Rats.
I've only seen Gerald's game once.
Me too.
It was pretty good though.
It was decent.
The
That
Game
whole,
of
like-
Gerald.
Wrong.
I don't know it.
Is it a Stephen
Um,
King? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Misery.
Wrong.
Gary.
Wrong. It's not a Stephen King book,
Mm.
and it's relevant to this last like couple months. So I'll give you each one more guess.
It's not a Stephen King book.
It's not a Stephen King book.
I was gonna say The Stand, since that's like a sickness and we have COVID. I have no idea.
Contagion.
Ooh. Oh,
Oh.
that's a movie.
No.
She throws a DVD.
You want one last guess?
Sure.
I
Let's
won't
go.
be able
Last
to
Man on
guess.
Earth.
Wrong. And Sam?
No.
All right.
Pass.
So the book was Midnight Mass.
Oh, I still haven't watched that.
Okay.
Damn, he's got his own
Alright.
little universe going on now.
No kidding. I see you.
The King
see you,
universe.
sir.
Kingverse. Have you guys have you watched that yet?
Castle Rock
No.
or Midnight Mass?
No, the Midnight Mass. Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm gonna watch it. Probably Halloween's too busy of a time to watch a series, but I probably will in November. I'm curious. Everyone talks about it, so
Mhm.
I need to know. All right, who's next? Is it Sam or Joe?
I think me. All right. How many days did Sissy Spacek sleep in bloody clothes to nail the look of a gory scene in Carrie?
4.
3.
We got 4 on the board. Oh, we got 3 on the board.
5.
Come on down.
We got 5 on the board. And the winner is Steve.
All right.
Gosh damn it.
You
Tied it up, baby.
I'm telling you, I'm drinking.
Oh,
guys
no.
are working together. Oh, I was like, you guys are working
All
together.
right.
There's a revision in the rules. Steve is no longer allowed to drink.
All righty. Well, I apologize, Steve, because this is another U.S. geography
damn
question.
I swear to God, like you guys have done
You got Florida right.
Yeah, I know, but like the
All right.
one state I go to.
Which U.S. state produces the most pumpkins?
Most pumpkins? Fuck.
Wyoming. What the fuck should I know?
Okay.
Ohio.
Wyoming.
Um,
Ohio on the board.
Idaho.
Idaho. You're all incorrect. The correct answer is
California.
Illinois.
Oh.
I was gonna say Illinois. Why did I fucking say it? All right, back to me, huh? Hold on, I gotta pick up Michelle. All right, from Michelle. Okay. That one's too easy, Michelle. Damn it, you guys gotta be quick with this one. All right, Sam, wake up. What agency does
Wake up.
Chris's best friend work for and Get Out?
The
Oh.
TSA.
TSA.
Good job, Sam.
Sam got
Yeah, I think she did.
Woo woo.
Oof.
Thanks for the wake up call, Todd.
it.
Welcome. Let's make sure you're in the zone for that. Kayla, you sent me like 6 or 7 of them. I will use them next week. Thank you.
All right. So for this one, I know you've seen me guys use it in the past, the horror Trivial
Fleshlight.
Pursuit.
Oh.
Yes.
Mm.
the horror,
Yes.
the horror Trivial
Horror
Pursuit.
Squad Fleshlight coming.
Oh,
So
nice.
fun fact, it's actually wrong on this question.
Oh,
Oh.
But I'll let you, if you say either of the two answers, what Trivial Pursuit says and what the real answer is, I'll give you the point.
okay.
What is the name of the restaurant that Sarah works at in Starry Eyes?
I've never seen it.
It's a great movie.
Couldn't tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, never seen it.
Only seen it once. Don't remember much about it.
Yeah, I don't know either. Saw it once and I don't remember.
The
All right.
diner, the Twilight Diner.
No.
Starry-eyed diner.
All right. So the actual answer is Big Taters.
Hmm.
But the
Oh,
Trivial
that's
Pursuit.
right. It's like a Hooters.
But the Trivial Pursuit says
Taters.
Hot Tatas.
Right.
Both are cool
Hot-
names.
maybe they meant hot tatas, like tatas.
Maybe.
Huh.
Got some tater tots now.
All right.
So if you
Okay.
ever lose a Trivial Pursuit and you don't want to embarrass yourself, just tell them, they're sometimes wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a tagline for you.
Fuck.
Oh boy.
every week, right? we
For
have
my
to.
3 favorite guys. Well, this one's from Kayla, so you're gonna have to thank her. All right. Lock the door. Pretend you're safe.
Ooh, scared.
In Home Alone, but I won't. I know it's a horror movie.
The strangers.
When a stranger calls.
All right. Point goes to Todd.
All right.
Really? The strangers?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I'm 100% surprised.
Oh,
I thought because I thought you would ask that. No. You asked why they picked them, and I got that point right. Never mind. Because you were
All right.
home.
So
Right.
last question.
Yes. Okay. In the famous song, The Monster Mash, who are the guests of the Halloween party?
Dracula.
Eeyore and
Frankenstein's
Dracula.
monster.
Y'all get a point.
I have
Woo!
3 specific people in the lyric to the song.
Eeyore, Frankenstein, and Dracula.
Zombies. The zombies were having fun. The guests included Frankenstein,
Frankenstein
Wolfman, and his son.
And his son.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. All right, let's
Wolfman,
go through.
Frankenstein, and his son.
Okay, that's on the board.
Eeyore
Would anyone
too.
else like to guess?
Give me
Eeyore,
one fucking point, Joe.
Wolfman, and his son.
The guests
Okay.
included Wolfman,
Wolfman,
Frankenstein,
Dracula,
and
and
his
his
son.
son.
Oh, I think Sam got it right.
Yeah, she did. Sam,
She
Sam
did.
All right,
just
Sam.
got it. Because
Dang.
Todd said
Stole
Frankenstein.
it, Todd.
Swooped in.
Swoop, there it is.
All right, point us,
Good
Todd.
job.
Darn it. Everyone got 2 except for me tonight. I got 1, which leaves me in first place with 102. Steve 101, Joe 99, Sam 68. Almost coming up to my favorite number. That concludes number 41. And I'm not going to ask them bonus questions, Kayla, because they did too well tonight. And I'm not about that. So
We also have
All
2
right,
movies to review, so
that's true.
Yeah.
Rocky Horror Picture Show from 1975. A newly engaged couple have a breakdown in an isolated area and must seek shelter at the bizarre residence of Dr. Frank in Furter. Yeah, so the movie starts off with Brad and Janet, who they're college sweethearts, and at their buddy's wedding. Betty Monroe actually is her name, and they're getting married. And Janet catches the bouquet, and then Brad's buddy's like, "Hey man, you can get married next." He's like, "I don't know, maybe." But then he goes and looks at Janet, and Susan Sarandon is just super hot in this movie. So he's like, "You know what, Janet, I have something to say. The way you catch the bride's bouquet." "Oh, Brad." So they start singing. Then they're driving, and then they break down, and they're like, "Hey, I saw a castle back there. That's not random. Let's go visit it." So they walk through there, sing again. They go in the castle. This hunchback dude, Riff Raff, opens the door. He's like, "Come on in." He's not creepy at all. They go in. There's like a big swinger party going on, basically. And they stay, and they open up to like a night of debauchery and sexual awakening for, both straight and gay, and a lot of singing and just a lot of good times. So first time I saw this movie, I was too young to appreciate it. And I was like, this is not for me. There's a lot of, obviously, if you've never seen this movie, there's a lot of like cross-dressing and sex and homosexuality, things like that. So 13-year-old Todd was like, I don't understand this, so I'm going to not like it. But 2021 Todd, I fucking love this movie. I had a really good time watching it. The soundtrack we've always listened to, and it was really cool to see it on screen. There's not a lot that I don't like because it's not a movie like you're going to pick apart. But that's my initial thoughts. Dug it. A lot
Can I
of
ask
fun.
you guys a question before we give our thoughts? Did you guys watch the US or UK version of the movie? Because they are different.
The
I
US
I watched whatever was on Amazon Prime, so I'm assuming the US version.
Okay,
The UK version has a different song, doesn't it?
has an extra song. There's a
Oh.
whole
I
extra
think-
song at the end.
I think we saw the UK version.
That's the one where it's like, "Don't dream it, be it." Is that the extra song?
Maybe I'm not sure what the song is,
It's
but
a good song.
because I had never seen it before. I was like, do I not remember this? But I've seen it so many times. So I think we did see the UK one.
It's very possible.
Okay. All right. I'll go next. Yeah, I'm kind of like similar to Todd. Like when I first saw it, I was like really young and I just didn't understand it. And like I was like, oh, a musical? I was like, no, this isn't for me. And then I think the next time I really ended up watching it was I went with Sam to like a midnight screening of it where they did like the shadow cast. And it was like I had an absolute blast at that. And my appreciation for this movie just like grew into like, and I can totally understand. Like I think seeing it for the first time, like if you can see it like with a shadow cast, like you absolutely need to go do that because it's like one of the most fun things you could ever experience. You got people like throwing stuff at the screen and you got just like all this crazy. It just adds to the fun of this whole movie. This movie's like batshit crazy. And like it's just like it makes like at times it makes no fucking sense whatsoever, but like you just go along for the ride. Like this movie just like makes you go along for the ride and accept it for what it is. And I totally do. Like it's so fun, it's so bizarre, it's so weird. But it's just like the songs are just so catchy, all the characters are just so interesting and so great. And it's just like the type of movie you just can't take your eyes like off of, and you just want to see what the hell is going to happen next. So yeah, I mean, I really dig it.
I'm with Todd and Joe. I remember seeing a little bit of this when I was younger, but I didn't really get it. I knew that because I liked musicals that it was one I was supposed to like, but it just never really caught my attention for too long until I got older and started like doing my Halloween parties. I would always put the songs on my playlist. And then just each time I watch it more and more, it's just such a gem. It's so fun. It's so cute. It's hilarious. There's so much going on. I love all of the costumes. I love just like the production of it. Like I feel like it's like a cannonball of confetti, it's like a snow globe of insanity. I love it so much. Great characters, great music. It's a great time.
I'm going to start by saying that musicals are my least favorite of all the movie genres. I just don't enjoy musicals. With the exception of maybe South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I don't think I've ever really enjoyed a musical. Maybe Phantom of the Opera, but so I came into this kind of dreading it a little bit because I knew it was a musical, but I did know I liked the song, so there was that going for it. And sure enough, the fucking movie is just a blast. And it's ironic, it's the music that I enjoyed more than the dialogue in this particular movie. I think the dialogue actually kind of drags the movie down a little bit. So that's something that would surprise me in this. Just watching Tim Curry having so much fun doing this role was just such a blast. And it just seems like such a good time in that castle. It's weird, but it's like funny and interesting. And I just had a ton of fun watching it. I had a smile on my face for the majority of the film. I do think the first half is more enjoyable than the second. It's like they were trying to get some story into it in the second half that dragged it down a little bit for me. But overall, I had a good time watching this.
Yeah, I think pretty much unanimous right across the board. There's not a lot I don't like. Like, it's really good, and it's just a fucking trip. Like Joe was saying, like you're just along for the ride. At that point when you get to the castle and they open up and they're fucking dancing and shit. Like I feel like the audience is supposed to be Brad because we're like all naive and like I'm like, Brad, what the fuck like, dude, do something. He's like, no, honey, we can just go in there and ask to use the phone. And he's like hitting on your woman in front of you, taking off your clothes, and like Brad's still like the stupid ass naive dude. And Susan Sarandon's like hot, man. She's smoking hot in this movie, like absolute smoke show. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just a fun movie. But I do feel bad about what's his face getting killed by Frankenfooter, because like he was not the center of attention. He was all upset, so he goes to kill him. Like, you little bitch, like why'd you have to go kill him? He was cool. But other than that, like just overall, it's just super fun. I don't even know what we can say about it anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's like funny because like Frankenfurter is like he's such like a bad character. Like he's like he does so many horrible things in this, but you still like feel for him like at the end, you know, you don't
I'm
want
going
to see
home.
him die, like you know what I mean? And you know, just like but he's like he does so many awful things. Like he kills Meatloaf's character, which is just like a great scene. Like Meatloaf just fucking comes flying in on his motorcycle, which is just like where does he come from? Like at like he's like comes out of
He's
nowhere.
in a cooler or something.
And then yeah, yeah, right. Like it just makes no sense. He just like busts through the wall on his motorcycle. And then yeah, he kills him, and then he basically rapes Janet at one point. Like,
He rapes
and then
Janet and Brad.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
What about
and-
Rocky?
He
and
sexually
Rocky,
abuses
yeah,
Rocky.
I mean, yeah, right, yeah. But man, it's just like Tim Curry. He's just so electric, like in this movie. Like, it's like probably his best performance. I mean, Pennywise is up there too, obviously, but I don't know. There's just something really special about this performance, and everybody really in this movie.
Yeah, everyone's great. And I was saying to my wife, like, you got to be like very bold to do this movie, especially as like a straight man, you know, like because like a lot of people get typecast, and this is Tim Curry's first movie, and like this is a huge risk. Like, not that there's anything wrong with what they're doing, but like in 1975, Kissing
In
Man and stuff,
1975,
it's like,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
it's
this
like
movie
super
is
risky.
super progressive.
But
Like
these guys
yeah.
fucking pulled it off. Like everyone pulled it off. It was great. And what's up with Janet though, banging fucking Rocky though? Like, come on, girl. I get you guys both banged Frankenfurter there because he tricked you, and then he was that good with that D, so she's like, all right, round two. But why she have to bang Rocky, poor Brad?
Because look at that
Those
body.
gold shorts. Yeah, but Brad's hot too. Like, who would cheat
a
on
beefcake.
him? He's a babe.
I think it just
Sexual awakening.
Well, she was I mean, she was a virgin, right? Like, because she says like I was saving myself for Brad to Frank. So yeah, it's like her sexual awakening, like and now she just wants to apparently fuck anything, like she see anybody she sees. And I mean, she's kind of a terrible character too, because like Brad was like such a great guy and was so good to her. So yeah, like fuck Janet too.
It was awesome.
Still banging though.
There's just so much to love about this movie. It's just the sets are really like well made. The costumes are really incredible. Like it's just everything about this movie is fun. My only knocks, I like I said, is the second half, and I found it a little slow at times. Like I said, when the dialogue kicks in, sometimes I was like, okay, can we just get to the next song already? Like just like I just didn't understand why they were talking so much. I wanted more music and more dancing and stuff. But yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's great. Rate it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to a solid 9.25 out of 10.
Oh,
Wow.
It's great.
Hi.
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's great. I always have a fun time watching it. I agree with Steve though. I do think there's some pacing issues that does bog the movie down here and there. But it's still a really good flick, and I think it's a Halloween, even though it's technically maybe not a Halloween movie. I think it's still like a staple to watch around this time of the year. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
See, I really enjoyed it. I guess less than you guys. It's not something I would necessarily revisit every year. It didn't get that from me. I do like the music. It's part of my like Halloween playlist, but I give it a 7.5. I enjoyed it, but it's something I wouldn't watch maybe every 5 years type of deal, more so than anything else. But still an enjoyable movie.
Approved all around. We're actually making really good time. Brings us to our next film, 1988's Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton. The spirits of a deceased couple are harassed by an unbearable family that has moved into their home and hire a malicious spirit to drive them out. So we got Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. They're like a very wholesome couple living in this like awesome little town. And he owns a freaking hardware store and he's on vacation and they're just going to stay at home a couple weeks and have a great vacation together. Alec Baldwin is like a little tinker. He's making like a full scale replica of the town in his attic. He's like, hey, like I gotta go down and get a fucking brush. Let's go, babe. So they drive down to the store. They come back up. This fucking dog gets in front of them. They swerve. They bust through like a little freaking bridgehead, and the dog's bouncing on a little beam. If the dog gets off, they fall. He gets off and they fall. Next scene, they're returning back home. They're all soaked and they're like, damn, this is a great way to start our vacation. But stuff doesn't add up. They don't have a reflection. They can't feel the heat, or they light on fire when they get too close to the fireplace. And then Alec Baldwin steps outside and these fucking giant sandworms try to eat him, and he's saved by his wife. Then they find this little book, the Handbook for the Recently Deceased, right? Where they're like, I think we're dead. And then they realize that they did not survive the accident. They're in purgatory or in hell or whatever afterlife you want to call it. And they have to live in their house and they can't leave the confines of it. So their house gets sold to this incredibly annoying family, but they have a little daughter named Lydia, played by what's her face? And she's like the gothic chick. And she's strange and unusual like the craft ladies, and she can see them. So they start talking to each other and they want these guys out of the house, but they really love Lydia. And that's where we get to Beetlejuice, because he's a bioexorcist where if you hire him, he will get rid of the humans, but he's evil. So don't do it. I mean, an absolute classic, man. Love this movie. It's great every time. It's never boring. I would love to see more of him in this movie, Beetlejuice, because he's just like we talked about earlier. He's just amazing, his role. There's not a lot I don't like in this movie. So a solid flick.
Yeah, I mean, I love this movie so much. It never gets old. Like every time I watch it, like I'm automatically like glued to the screen. There's just so many like iconic scenes too, like in this movie. It's unbelievable. The character building is amazing. This, like, honestly, the character building in this movie is like next level to me. Like, you are introduced to the Maitlands, and within the first like couple minutes, you love this couple. Like, you're automatically like almost instantly attached to them. Like you know, the emotion is there. Like you can't, like, you want to see what happens next to them. You feel bad when they die and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, and just like the character building on all the characters, this is great. I mean, the score is next level. You know, when that Beetlejuice music starts in the beginning there, it's like so good, and it carries on to, you know, the Deo song, of course, another iconic scene. And I mean, yeah, I mean, we'll get more in depth into it, but I mean, to me, this is just an absolute classic.
Yes, Beetlejuice. What's not to love about it? The set design is great, costumes are great, the score is amazing. I remember watching this when I was a kid. I became obsessed with Gina Davis. Like, I wanted to die thinking that I could turn into a ghost to be with her. I was obsessed with her.
Is this before or after You Get to Be a Tornado Chaser with Meg Ryan?
This
Or not
was
Meg Ryan,
before. Before I wanted to be a tornado chaser.
Yeah, there you go. Helen
This
Hunt,
was
not Meg
before.
Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was before. What else can I say? Oh, some of the scenes are kind of scary, especially like when Beetlejuice turns into a fucking snake, when he like grabs everyone's faces at the dinner table. Like, it's pretty spooky. The sandworms, all sorts of stuff. It's scary and fun.
I agree. I love Beetlejuice. I watch it every year, and I have since the 90s. I had this one on VHS and then DVD and now Blu-ray. So absolutely adore this movie. There's a lot to love about it. There's a lot of little scenes that still make me laugh to this day. Like, for example, the smoking corpse in the waiting room. He's he's trying to quit. He says, cutting down myself on the cigarettes. Just these little like touches that I really enjoy in this movie. Everyone, I think, performs really well, like for their role and everything. So that's always great. I love Tim Burton's aesthetic in the 90s, especially, between this, Edward Scissorhands, Batman, Nightmare Before Christmas, which isn't technically a Burton film, but is very Burton-esque. It's just, yeah, he's a fantastic director. I love the music. I love the whole town, just the way that it's built up. And it's a really fun film. But when you watch it critically, as we did, I guess because we're reviewing it, you start to see a lot of plot holes that I can overlook because I'm such a fan of the film. But it's just like, okay, well, maybe that's a little weird. There are a lot of loose rules in this universe, so maybe we can discuss a few of them, see what you guys think. But overall, I dug this movie a lot.
Well, you color me intrigued. I want to hear them.
See what you got.
All right, so let's begin. The Maitlands, the poor Maitlands, whose car falls 5 feet into the water. Like from that,
the wind,
they drown.
it's hard to get. It's hard to get out of a car. Like, once all the water gets in, you're fucked. Like, you can't open the doors because of the pressure.
Actually, you can.
Really?
Yeah. If you let the
Okay.
car fill up, you can just open the door. Just
Really?
Probably panicked.
yeah, they
Maybe
probably
they hit
panicked.
their
It's
heads.
just-
Maybe they hit their heads and knocked out.
yeah. Anyway, it's just that made me laugh. Like when I saw the
Yeah.
the splash design, I'm like, huh, okay, well. Anyway. Well, I mean, we're also talking about a 20-pound dog that held up a board that held the car,
Right.
you know? So, but that's fine. These are all like nitpicks, really. I'm not
Yeah.
knocking it for anything like that. The Maitlands also technically should look drowned, right? Because all the other people in the ghost realm are represented in the way they died.
Mhm.
So I always wondered why the Maitlands escaped that. So that was another like kind of little nitpick that I had.
Mhm.
I also find the effects, even though they're charming because it's a Burton film, some of the effects are a little like off. The stop motion is cool, but in some like the sandworm, I always found was a weird.
Yeah, the sandworm's a little off.
Yeah, and the whole sandworm idea, like I get it's their reason to keep him in the house, but like you guys said before, like why is Beetlejuice not, you know? Because he's clearly going into this house no problem, and the lady too also gets into this house no problem. The one that's like their
Juno.
Juno, yeah,
Caseworker.
she goes into the house no problem, you know. So the rules
And
are
then it
kind
comes
of
into their house in front of
Right.
everybody.
no, exactly. So just
Yeah.
stuff like that I noticed, and the thing that disturbed me the most about this movie, and even in the 90s, I remember thinking that is how much Beetlejuice wants to marry this 14-year-old. You know, he's
Yeah.
600.
Mhm.
So I always thought that was an interesting thing about this movie. But one thing I do love is, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it because he's overshadowed by so many great performances. But so Jeffrey Jones, who plays the dad, I loved
Bad
him
person.
because he was
Yeah, that didn't age well.
yeah right. He's like a villain in most of the movies
Ferris
in the 80s.
Bueller, yeah.
Ferris Bueller
Mhm.
and Stay Tuned. You know, he's like one of the classic kind of 80s villains. So it's I love him in this. He just wants to fucking relax, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's all he wants.
He reminds me of myself, honestly. Like when he kept saying, "I'm trying to relax," like every other sentence. I'm like, that's what I say.
Yeah, and it's funny because that room that he wants to keep
Love
is the
that
same
room.
as your room. You know, like right
Yeah.
that you're in right now.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So you're basically that character, you know?
But without the weird stuff. Let's just put that out there.
Right, yeah. And I love the little like touches, like when he's reading the magazine, the inserts keep falling out. So if you read magazines, especially in the 90s, fucking inserts were every 2 pages. It's still stupid little cardboard.
Remember like cologne samples?
Yeah, when you have to stick,
Oh, yeah.
unstick it from the page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. But yeah, overall, it's just like these little things. It's also interesting that everyone thinks of, when they think of Beetlejuice, they think of that black and white striped suit. But
Yeah, and he barely wears it.
He wears it for like 2 minutes in the movie.
Yeah.
He's in a ton of other outfits, but not that
I
one.
noticed
But it's
that
the
watching it. Yeah.
It's the poster, obviously, that makes people think of that. But I always thought
Right.
that was an interesting
Mhm.
thing that he barely wears that suit at all. So,
Right. And also I noticed watching it this time, I don't think you see Beetlejuice until like over an hour into this movie. Like the first time you see him, like there's like
Yeah.
a lot of buildup until you actually see him. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting too.
Yeah, yeah. There's yeah, exactly. You see a lot of the Maitlands before they
Yeah.
introduce Beetlejuice, and I love the first shot of the Maitlands is he's picking up a spider like from his town and like
Mhm.
wants to set it free, but he tosses out like the window from the top floor, so that
Yeah.
spider fucking died anyway. So it's just like I don't know, just these little things I thought were amusing. But and Catherine O'Hara, man, fucking what a delight, that woman. She's
Great.
like, yeah, she's
Yeah.
a Canadian icon here. Like we love her here, so amazing.
Kevin.
Yeah,
No, Kevin.
yeah,
Kevin.
yeah. That's where I knew her from more than
Kevin.
anything.
Love it.
Winnona's great too.
Oh yeah, Winona. Yeah, she's fantastic in this. Yeah. I
You know
mean,
who I hate though? Fucking Ortho. Fuck him.
I love Otho. I was gonna
What?
say Otho. I think is like
Oh, he's so
an
annoying.
underrated character in this. Like he's just so. I don't know. There's just something about him
I
like
cannot
that
stand
I
him.
find so intriguing.
He's so
Um,
mean to a suicidal partner. I'm like,
He
dude.
is really, yeah. I think it's all in his delivery. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I really like him.
And he's the same way in Demolition Man. Just like he's like basically the same character.
Oh, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
he
he's
passed
listed.
away a
Murder-
few years
murder, death,
ago.
kill.
Yeah, he did. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I don't know what the whole thing is where he has to enter through the window. That was so
Yeah, that was
odd.
fun. Just another like Tim Burton quirky thing. I mean, the whole movie is just like
the whole movie is a quirky Tim Burton thing. But I love the Death World in this movie.
Yeah,
Like,
me too.
it's just I wish we could explore it more actually. But that's also a realm that I'm kind of curious as to what the deal is. Like, there aren't that many bodies in there. What are they actually waiting for? You know, there's 10 million numbers,
man.
but there's only like 5 people in the waiting room. It's just like all these questions I have. What are those ghosts that the janitor, like, the lost souls, like, what's their deal? It's just a lot of questions that are unanswered, but it's fine because overall it's just a kind of fun adventure more than anything.
Who is your favorite ghoul in like the waiting room there?
Smoking Corpse for me.
Smoking Corpse.
Yeah, I really love that one. When I was a kid, it was the guy with the little head.
The shrunken head.
The shrunken head. I know my sister really loved that character. Like, she was a big fan. So, but that would be my favorite. It's the smoking one.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the football players because they're super annoying.
They're great.
I'm not your coach. He survived.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that when they're going through the office, I'm like, if someone just organized this, we would have a better, like, that was just bugging me. I'm like, pick up the papers off the floor, file them correctly, please. I feel sorry for the guy that got run over too. He has to be like that forever.
Yeah, the flat guy, he's great.
Yeah.
I got that as a Christmas ornament last year from Homemade Horror. That was his annual Christmas ornament, was the flat guy. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, it's a cool one. But again, like, at least the Maitlands should be like drowned when they go into that world. Like, maybe keep them normal when they're in the real world, but in that world, it makes no sense that they're like perfectly fine. It's just,
I mean, they're all wet at first.
Yeah, like slightly.
They're like soaked.
From that.
What do you think? Like,
dive.
make them like a little more blue or something? Like, how do you
make them drown?
Yeah.
Like, make them like essentially like the creep show zombies there.
Okay. Yeah. I like it.
I didn't understand why the Maitlands were like rotting when Beetlejuice was doing, or when they were doing the.
Well, because they've at that point they've been dead for whoever knows how long. So so like it's bringing them back to like so they're decomposing.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Which is a great scene.
Bugging me for 30 years.
The makeup on that scene is great, and it's fucking creepy as hell. Like,
it scared me as a kid.
Yeah,
I was terrified of that scene. It's fucking like it's terrifying.
It is.
And they're floating and they're green, and it's just like, damn.
I also find it interesting for like this movie is considered like a family movie, but there's actually like a lot of like dirty humor in this. Is with the Beetlejuice character.
Beetlejuice like
obviously
fake jacks off and everything.
Yeah,
like, it just like, damn. He goes to
grabs
fucking strip club.
Yeah, he goes to the strip club. He grabs his dick at one point.
Right.
Like he tries to look up what's her dress there at one point.
My favorite sequence though is when he asks about his like references or something like that, qualifications. He's like, well, I attended the Juilliard acting school. Like, right. He's just
seen The Exorcist
127
times, and it keeps getting funnier every time I've seen it. So yeah, I mean, Michael Keaton's so good in this.
He's fucking
like,
great.
Unbelievable. Yeah, like he just went all out, and like, yeah, I mean, that's why without like his performance, like, who knows, like, if this would be considered like a classic or like an iconic movie. He really does make it.
Yeah, he does. It would have been interesting to see what another actor does with it, but you can't. Like, it's his role really, and fuck, he's good. He's such a delight. And like Todd said, on the one hand, I would love to see him more, but maybe not seeing him more is what makes it so appealing, because he has so few scenes. Right. And so when he comes up on screen, you're like excited for it, and you're ready to see what the fuck he's gonna say, because it could be anything. Like, and I wonder how much of that was improv versus written.
Right.
Because it's so random that you have to think that some of it was improv.
I would think so, definitely.
I don't know if is Tim Burton just one of those guys that doesn't improv. Like, I don't know.
Oh, well, here you go. IMDb. Michael Keaton ad-libbed 90% of his lines.
There you go.
Wow. So it was all him then.
It was all him, other than the important dialogue to get. Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, do you think we're past the sequel at this point, or do you think like a sequel would be interesting?
Yeah, I think it's like Hocus Pocus. Like, why? That's like the biggest question. Like, no,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, but they know people will put their money into it. So,
yeah. I mean, but are people signing up for Disney Plus just to watch Hocus Pocus 2? Like, I would doubt that. It's just like why.
We'll see next year, I guess. But so
guess.
here's my question to you guys. What movie that had a long hiatus would you say, oh, thank God they made a new one because that reinvigorated the series? Because a lot of them
Blade Runner
just did it though. Maybe for you, but not
for like the super nerds. It did, but it like critically didn't. I mean, financially didn't really make his money back. But he got to make Dune because of it, so that's good.
What about Star Wars?
But they didn't stop that long, right? If you really look at like the time wise, because they had them in the 90s, they had them in the 80s, 90s, 2000. So it's not like it had a huge gap between them. Yeah,
like
I don't know.
A direct sequel, like a continuation.
Like
what about like a prequel?
Like how Beetlejuice became Beetlejuice?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just because he's old, older now. I don't know. Like, would they make a cover it?
As kooky as he is now.
Yeah, because he's not the same guy, right? It's like, I don't know. Like
Juno was his partner, right, or her partner?
Yeah, it was Juno's assistant. Yeah, and he branched off. So I guess they could do something with that, but I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes these things are better in idea than actual execution. Like Bill and Ted.
Right.
I was a huge Bill and Ted fan. I love the first two. And I was super psyched when they finally fucking made the third one. And holy shit, it was a piece of garbage.
Was it bad? I started watching it, but
it was bad. Like, in my opinion, as a big fan, it was fucking terrible. Like, really bad. I don't know how the fuck they fucked it up that bad. That
sucks.
So yeah, maybe it's just better if they don't touch it. Because like I really can't think of a series where I'm like, damn, thank God they made that 25 years later.
I mean, you guys liked Halloween 2018.
Yeah,
right. So I mean, and that was like a
it also had movies in the 90s, 2000s, and
I guess soft reboots are a little different than
full-on sequels.
Yeah,
right. I mean, they'd have to go a sequel route because they're going to want to bring Winona Ryder back, and I'm sure they would want to bring like Catherine O'Hara back. They're not going to bring Jeffrey Jones back. That's for sure.
Why not? He's around.
Yeah, but did he was he in prison?
Yeah.
Really? Was he?
Yeah, he had child porn charges.
Oh, fucking shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Alec Baldwin, probably not the most popular actor right now.
Yeah.
Which the more it comes out, the more it's not his fault, looks like. So
yeah, but even just his name.
It's tainted right now.
Yeah.
Gina Davis I'm sure they could get her back, and
she was Reagan again, or not again, but she was Reagan in the next series, right?
Unfortunately. So here's a trivia question, but you won't get a point for it. But how long was Beetlejuice actually in the movie for?
4 minutes.
No, he was like 12 minutes.
Sam, would you like to guess?
23.
14 and a half minutes. That's it. Of the entire runtime.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 14 and a half of solid minutes.
Yep. Here's another interesting tidbit. So after the box office success of this movie, a sequel was written called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. A script was commissioned. Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder both signed on to reprise their respective roles, but Tim Burton lost interest in the project and went on to direct Batman. And then still to this day, Warner Brothers is still trying to get the original sequel concept into production. I hope not, though. Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian? That just sounds
like
stupid.
What, did they go on vacation and he's there in Hawaii or something?
I guess.
It's the only way they can go, right?
That kind of reminds me of like the cartoon, which I did enjoy. I think Steve said he didn't like the cartoon, but
I did like the cartoon.
You did like the cartoon. Okay, yeah, I like the cartoon quite a bit. So it reminds me of that in a lot of ways. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
Wow, I take back everything good I said about Jeffrey Jones. I did not know that at all.
Yeah.
God damn. Ugh. God, fuck that guy.
Yeah, he's dark path there for him.
Yeah, I had no idea. So
yeah, that's why when he slaps Lydia on the backside, it's a different context now that you know that. In the movie where she's in the office and he slaps her in the butt. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I'm actually glad I didn't know that while I watched it, but yeah. But other than that,
hopefully that doesn't ruin it for you because it's a great movie.
No, yeah, no. I mean, I've seen it so many times at this point. It's not like it would ruin the movie or anything. But it's cool that Catherine O'Hara now is like super popular again. It's weird to see. And Michael Keaton's making a
What is
resurgence.
Catherine O'Hara popular for right now?
Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek.
Oh,
yeah.
Schitt's Creek. Yeah. Oh, duh. She was amazing in that.
Yeah. So between that, her coming back, Michael Keaton making a resurgence, Winona Ryder making a resurgence with Stranger Things. It's time. Like it's now or never, really.
Right.
Yeah, they're all still alive.
They're also alive and popular. So.
Yep. The nostalgia. I mean, the nostalgia factor. So like everybody's doing it. So
Exactly.
I think the only one that might probably want to do it would be Alec Baldwin.
He might, give him some time. He
not because of the shooting thing, but
okay.
because of, like maybe he's a little bit too big for it.
I think he'd come back for it. I think he definitely would. Yeah, I think so. He cameos in a lot of stuff. Like, so.
I wonder how you explain their age though, because if they're dead, they're not supposed to age.
Right.
But what they do in this movie a lot is every time they break a rule, they're like, well, it was in the handbook. So
yeah. He's like,
right.
You didn't read the handbook?
Right, exactly. So maybe they could just constantly say stuff about the handbook.
Or they could de-age them or something. With CGI.
I hate it.
That would be my concern about doing it again, is that they would like use CGI or rely on CGI for like a lot of the stuff, and it just wouldn't have the same feel.
Yeah, I agree. Because even Tim Burton has started using CGI and stuff. So
yeah, he did it in a stupid Charlie and Chocolate Factory and
Dumbo, like CGI.
Dumbo.
So.
Didn't he do like Alice in Wonderland too?
Yeah, he does.
They're all
That's
garbage.
Right, both of them. Yeah. So.
Do you know who the original choice for Beetlejuice was?
Kevin Costner?
No.
Fine.
No.
So Tim Burton wanted Sammy Davis Jr. to play Beetlejuice.
Wow.
That would have been interesting.
I know that back to Rocky Horror, I know that the Meatloaf's character is supposed to be Elvis. Like they want Elvis to play that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. That would have fit perfectly.
Yeah, it would have fit for sure.
Would have been just like a great small cameo. But yeah, Meatloaf did great in it. So
He did. Rate it?
Yeah.
Steve, you watched this one for 30 years, every year for the last 30 years. So what's your rating?
For me, it's an 8.5 out of 10. I don't think
8.5.
Yeah. I don't think it's the greatest movie. It's just one I enjoy watching. Watching every year. Like I have a blast watching it. And like I said, I don't think I missed this movie one year since I got it on VHS in the 90s. So yeah, 8.5. I think it's a very good movie, one I love, but not like an amazing movie,
Wait, was Todd surprised by that score? You thought that was low?
I thought it was too low for his love for it.
8.5?
Well, I think I give Rocky Horror a 4.5, and I gave Beetlejuice a 4.5, I think, on Letterboxd. So
you gave it 4, I think.
Did I give it a 4? So I'm at like a 9, man. It's a great movie.
I'm giving it a 10.
Nice.
I love it. I really do. I love this movie, and watching it today again just like put a smile on my face. And it like, I don't know, to me there's just like the movie really never drags. It's just so weird and so quirky, and there's like so many scenes to me that are just like so iconic. And yeah, I mean the performances are great. So yeah, to me it's a 10.
Samsonite.
I'm gonna rate it a 9.2.
Ooh. And there is one line that I've never liked in this movie, even the last time I watched it, is when Lydia gets back and they're talking about the math quiz and she's like, I got an A. I just hate the delivery on that line so much. I just hate it. I don't know why. I just cannot stand the delivery on that. So that's what drops it down.
Well, that's it.
I just got an A.
I got an A.
I got an A.
Thank you, everybody who voted for this one. So this one was put up to the vote on all our social medias.
I almost won this time, but once again,
was it Joe that picked
defeated?
Yeah, I picked this one. Yep.
Yeah, and it was House of a Thousand Corpses from Todd. It was Under Wraps from Sam, and I picked Adam's Family. House of a Thousand Corpses came very, very close.
Yeah.
I did.
Like,
I might watch that one Halloween night instead of Halloween this year.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll see.
I think maybe we should save House of a Thousand Corpses for next Halloween. That could be a good Halloween review for next year or something.
2 solid movies for 2 different reasons, I think, but can't go wrong. I think Rocky Horror is a great get together movie, having fun, and then Beetlejuice is just a classic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Definitely.
I really enjoyed revisiting Rocky Horror though. I was very happy that we picked that. I mean, we kind of knew this was coming for the last like month and a half. We talked about in like September that we wanted to do it, but I'm glad we did it. And yeah, that's and that's Joe says it a lot. Like the reason I love doing a show like this is because some movies I don't know, like it's in my DVD collection. I've had it for ever, but to pull it out of 2,000 DVDs, it's
right.
Gives me a reason to do it.
Steve, are you the same way with me, Steve? Is where it's like I'll pull out a movie and be like, oh, I remember I fucking bought this at Target when I was fucking.
Oh yeah.
You start memory lane shit.
Yeah, and then you look at it still in the plastic. Like,
yeah. Or you like open it, it's like that crisp. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. It smells like a new DVD still. Yeah, it's awesome.
It does. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Next
week, are we still planning to do the double feature of? I forget. 1 second.
Slumber Party Massacre.
Slumber Party Massacre and Slumber Party Massacre remake.
Let's do
Where's
it.
the remake playing at?
Let's see.
I think it was Sci-Fi, wasn't it? Like a Sci-Fi original.
It was
movie or
on
something?
Sci-Fi for me because I don't have Sci-Fi. For me, it was on Crave. That's HBO Max for you guys, I think.
I think it's I thought it was
Or
Sci-Fi,
Hulu.
but it could be on HBO Max.
Or Hulu. It's I get both.
It should definitely be available for free. Hold on, I can look it up real quick. Very intrigued because I have not seen the original Slumber Party Massacre since high school, probably. So that
did you get the figure when it came out?
No, I didn't. Just because I haven't watched it in so long, so I never jumped on it. So according to this, you can watch it on YouTube if you have a premium subscription, and then it's also available for rent on Amazon Prime, Vudu, Google Play for like $3.99. So
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I feel like you might be able to find it for free, like on demand or something like that. So we'll keep you updated on the Discord if we can find it for free for you guys too.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely rewatch the original first because the second one is very contingent on you having seen the original.
Second and third are pretty lame.
I've never seen the sequels. Yeah. Maybe I've seen the second. I'm not sure, but the third.
And the original Slumber Party Massacre you can watch for free on Tubi. And you can also watch it on Pluto TV, Vudu, and Amazon Prime, all for free. If you have any of those
Factory
services.
Blu-ray.
There you go.
There you go. Get it.
So plenty of options to watch the original for free. But happy Halloween, everyone. Once
Yes,
again.
happy Halloween. Stay safe. Check your candy. Drink all the pumpkin beer. Watch all the horror movies. Get frisky in your costumes.
Oh,
and for God's sakes, don't give some shitty candy to people. No candy corn. None of that fucking like waxy shit. Yeah, no. Give the kids the good stuff this year. They deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I got 4 giant bags of like fucking Kit Kat bars, Snickers.
Me too.
Come on over, kids.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
What are your qualifications?
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it.